In the previous class, I was explaining the difference between consignment and sale. Okay. So I'll make 3 columns. First column is the base of difference. Second is consignment and third is sale. Okay. First difference is connected with relationship. What is the relation between the parties in the consignment and parties in the sales? Okay. The relation between two parties in the consignment is principal and agent relation. The relationship in the consignment is principal and agent. That means consignor is the principal and agent is a consignee is a agent. In the consignment, there are two parties. One is consignor, another is consignee. Okay, therefore consignor is a principal. He sent the goods, and consignee is a agent. His duty is to sell the goods. Okay, so relation between consignor and consignee is agency relationship. Principal and agent relationship is there in the consignment. And in the sale, the relation between the two parties is seller and buyer. A person who give the goods is called a seller, and a person who take the goods is called as buyer. So relation in consignment is principal and agent. In case of sale, relationship is seller and buyer. Okay. Then second point of distinction is ownership. Ownership of the goods. Ownership of the goods. In consignment, the ownership of the goods remains with the consignor. The ownership of the goods remains with the consignor till its sale. The ownership of the goods will not be transferred from the consignor to consignee. Only goods are transferred. Only goods are transferred to consignor to consignee, but ownership remains with the consignor in the consignment. And in case of sale, the ownership is also transferred to the buyer. Whenever goods are transferred, whenever seller transfer the goods to the buyer, along with the goods, seller transfer the ownership of the goods to the buyer. Okay, in case of consignment, ownership will not be transferred. Ownership will not be transferred. And in case of
147
in case of sale, ownership will be transferred from seller to buyer. This is the point you remember. And third point of distinction is risk of loss. If due to one or any reason, if the goods destroyed or lost, if the goods destroyed or lost due to one or any other reason, then who is responsible? In case of consignment, the risk of loss and damage remains with the consignor. Whatever loss arises, whatever damage takes place, whatever loss incurs, that all is related with the consignor. Risk of loss is related with the consignor. Means the risk of loss is to be incurred by the consignor. Consignor has to incur the loss. Due to one or any reason, if the loss arises, that loss is to be borne by the consignor himself. Means the owner of the goods himself. Owner of the goods is the consignor. Okay. Then in case of sale, the risk of loss or damage is of buyer himself. Whenever the goods are transferred, whenever goods are sold, sold to buyer, then the loss related with the goods is relating to buyer himself, not to the seller. So in case of consignment, loss remains with the consignor, and in case of sale, risk of loss goes along with the goods to buyer. This is the third point of distinction. And fourth point of distinction is consideration. What is the consideration between the parties for the agreement? Consignment is an agreement between the consignor and consignee. What is the consideration for the agreement? So, in case of consignment, commission is the consideration. Commission is the consideration for sale of goods. Consignor send the goods, consignee sell the goods. For sale of goods, consideration is commission. Consideration is commission to the consignee. Consignor has to give commission to consignee. This is the consideration in case of consignment, and in case of sale, price is the consideration. Price is the consideration. Seller gives the goods, buyer gives the price. Seller gives the goods and buyer gives the price. So in case of sale, price is the consideration. In case of consignment, commission is the consideration. Okay. Then last point is particulars. So pro forma invoice is prepared in case of consignment. Particulars relating to goods. Details relating to goods is expressed. Details relating to goods. Particular means details relating to the goods. Details relating to the goods are expressed in the form of pro forma invoice. I already explained in the previous class, pro forma invoice. And details of the goods are explained in the invoice. Invoice explain the details of the goods in case of sale, and details of the goods is explained in pro forma invoice in case of consignment. These are the distinction points regarding consignment and sale. Okay, consignment and sale. Then come to the accounting treatment. Accounting treatment of consignment transactions. Come to the accounting treatment. Now we come to the accounting treatment regarding consignment accounts. First is accounting treatment in the books of consignor. Consignor means he is a person who sent the goods. He is a person who sent the goods. He is the owner of the goods. He is the principal. So what are the accounts he prepares? Okay. So first account he prepares, that is called as consignment account. First account he prepares, that is consignment account. Okay. So consignment account. What is consignment account? Consignment account is just like trading profit and loss account. This is a just like trading profit and loss account. It is prepared for the purpose of ascertaining the profit or loss on each consignment. For the purpose of ascertaining profit or loss made on consignment, the consignor prepares the consignment account. Consignment account. So this is just like trading profit and loss account of the businessman. Okay. And it is a special type of trading profit and loss account. So you remember, consignment account is the account prepared to ascertain the profit or loss made on consignment. Okay, made on consignment. And this account contains all the expenses and goods. All the expenses and goods accounts. And this is just like trading profit and loss account for ascertainment of profit or loss. Okay. So in the debit side, we write goods sent on consignment, expenses incurred on the debit side. And credit side, we write the sale of goods, return of the goods, closing stock, then the abnormal loss. Okay, I'll tell you in detail by drawing the account. Okay, the first account you remember, consignment account. The consignment account is prepared to ascertain the profit or loss made on consignment. Okay, and this is the first account. And second account is consignee account. Consignor prepares consignee account. Consignee account, it is the personal account. It is a personal account. Consignee account is prepared by consignor to know the balance due to or due from the consignee on a particular date. Consignor send the goods, consignee sell the goods, consignee incur the expenses. After adjusting all those things, whatever amount due to consignee or due from consignee, to know that consignor prepares consignee account on a particular date. And this account is a personal account. This is a personal account of consignee. Okay, you remember this. Consignee account is prepared to ascertain the amount due to consignee or amount due from consignee. This is the point. And second account. Third account is goods sent on consignment account. Goods sent on consignment account. Third account. This is same as you studied in the branch account. This is the same account as you studied in the branch account. It is prepared to show the amount of goods sent to the consignee. Goods sent on consignment account is prepared to show the amount of goods sent to consignee. It is a real account. It is a goods account. It is an asset account. It is an asset account. And the balance is transferred at the end of the year or on a particular date, is transferred to purchase account or trading account. Transfer to trading account. Remember this. In the branch account, I explained goods sent on branch, goods sent to branch, goods sent to branch account. Here is the goods sent on consignment. Both are same. Okay, to remember this. Third account. And fourth account is abnormal loss account. In the branch account, I told abnormal loss, but abnormal loss was not arised. Abnormal loss was not arised in the branch accounts, but in this chapter, we study the abnormal loss. Abnormal loss. This abnormal loss is prepared to ascertain the net loss incurred. This account is prepared to know the net loss incurred or actual loss incurred due to damages. Okay, these are the 4 accounts you have to prepare in the consignment in the books of consignor. In the books of consignor, you prepare 4 accounts. First account is consignment account. It gives the profit or loss made on consignment. My dear friends, you remember this consignment account is same as branch account. It is same as branch account. Then consignee account is the account just like debtors account. Okay, third is goods sent on consignment account, you know that. And last is abnormal loss account, that is the new one, I'll tell you. Only 3 items comes in the abnormal loss account. Only 3 items comes in that account. Okay, so these are the 4 accounts you have to prepare in the books of consignor. Okay, now I'll tell you the transactions or the activities related with the consignor. Okay, so consignor send the goods, consignee receive the goods and sell those goods. So transactions in the books of consignor. Transactions in the books of consignor. Consignor transaction. Okay, I'll explain the transactions in the books of consignor first, and then I'll tell you, give you the account form. Thereafter, I write the journal entry. Okay, so the transactions. The first transaction is consignor send the goods to consignee. First, goods sent on consignment. First is goods sent on consignment. First, consignor send the goods on consignment. This is just like goods sent to branch. Goods sent on branch. Consignor send the goods to consignee, first one. And to send the goods, consignor incur the expenses. Consignor incur the expenses. Consignor incur the expenses. Consignor is one place and consignee is at another place. Agent is at another place. So consignor send the goods. For sending the goods, consignor incur the expenses. Consignor incur the expense. That is the second transaction. Second transaction is expenses incurred by consignor. Expenses incurred by consignor. What are the expenses he incurred? Generally you think. If you generally think, what are the expenses consignor incurs? First, he is to send the goods. The consignor is to send the goods to consignee. For sending, he has to incur the expenses. What are the expenses? The expenses are mainly connected with, first he has to pack the goods. Okay, he has to pack the goods. That is called as packing. Packing charges he incurs. Once he pack the goods, then loading is there. packing, loading expenses. Loading means he has to load the vehicle. He has to load the goods on the vehicle. Loading charges is there. For loading purpose, he has to pay carriage. He has to pay carriage. He has to pay carriage. Okay. Carriage he has to pay. After carriage, what are the next expenses? Then he has to pay freight. Freight he has to pay. After paying the freight, he has to pay for insurance. Insurance charges he has to pay. Okay, am I right? Insurance. He has to insure the goods. Otherwise, if the goods are destroyed in the transit, who is to incur the loss? Insurance charges he has to pay. After paying the insurance, for sending the goods, he has to pay octroi duty. Octroi and duty. Octroi and duty, excise duty, and so on, he has to pay. Okay, some expenses I recorded here. So first he send the goods. For sending the goods, he incur the expenses. What are the expenses he incurs? Packing expenses he incur, loading charges he incurs, carriage charges he incur, freight expenses he incur, then insurance he incur, octroi, excise duty, custom duty. Okay, all these expenses he incur for sending the goods. This is the second transaction. Second transaction. Okay. Then come to the third transaction. Come to the third transaction. Third transaction is once he send the goods, then consignee receive the goods. First consignor send the goods paying the expenses. Okay, he send the goods. After sending the goods, the next is consignee receive the goods. Consignee receive the goods. Consignor send the goods. Consignor send the goods. Consignee receive the goods. Consignee receive the goods. For receiving the goods, he is to incur the expenses. Consignee pay the expenses. So the next point is The next point is expenses incurred by consignee. Expenses incurred by consignee. Consignee incur the expenses. So expenses incurred expenses incurred by consignee. Expenses incurred by consignee. Third transaction is expenses incurred by consignee. Consignee incur the expense. What are the expenses he incur? First, for receiving the goods. First, for receiving the goods, his expenses are, he received the goods. For receiving the goods, he incur the expense clearance charge. He has to clear the goods from the transportation agency. Means he has to give certain charges to the transportation agency. Okay. After receiving, then he is to pay for unloading. Unloading charges. Unloading means he is to get down the goods. Unloading. After unloading, he may incur for carriage also. Unloading charges. Clearance charges, unloading charges, then selling expense. Selling expense. He has to incur expenses for selling. See, selling expenses are, for example, advertisement. He is to pay for advertisement, publicity, then warehouse rent he is to pay. Warehouse rent he is to pay. Then salesman salary commission, sorry, advertisements, warehouse rent, then publicity, and other selling expenses. Other selling expenses. These are the expenses consignee incurs after receiving the goods. After receiving the goods, first he give the clearance charges, then unload the goods, then he incur the selling expenses. Okay. Selling expenses he incur. In the selling expenses, advertisement is there, warehouse rent is there, other expenses are there. Okay, this is the third transaction. First, consignor send the goods. Second, he incur the expenses by incurring the expenses. And third, consignor receive the goods and incur these expenses. After this, consignee may give advance. Advance given to consignee. Advance given by consignor. Advance given by consignee. This is the fourth transaction. Fourth transaction is advance given by consignee. Consignee gives advance, some amount. This advance may be given in the form of check. It may be given in the form of check. That means bank. Or bills receivable. bills receivable. Advance, fourth transaction. Okay, he gives the advance, that is the fourth transaction. Okay, after this, then fifth transaction is in connection with the sale of goods. Sale of goods. Sale of goods. So whenever the goods are sold by consignee, that the transaction is to be entered by the consignor. This is the fifth. Then after fifth transaction, the sixth transaction is regarding abnormal loss. Abnormal loss. Abnormal loss means whatever goods lost. If there is a loss regarding the goods, the loss may arise while sending the goods to consignee, or loss may arise in the godown of consignee. From the point of consignor godown to consignee godown or point of sale, whatever abnormal losses arises, the loss arises, for that he is to record the transaction, the loss relating to abnormal goods, abnormal loss. Okay, abnormal loss. Okay, I'll explain that abnormal loss in the next class. Abnormal loss, transaction relating to abnormal loss. If the goods are destroyed, that is to be recorded, that is called as abnormal loss. Okay, then sixth. And seventh transaction is goods returned. Goods returned by consignee. Goods returned by consignee. Goods returned by consignee means if the goods are returned by consignee due to one or any other reason, the goods may be damaged or goods may not be sold, goods are not in good condition to sell. In that cases, consignees return the goods. Consignee return the goods. Consignee return the goods. And after that, next transaction is regarding closing stock. Closing stock. Closing stock with consignee. At the end of the year, he has to record the transaction relating to closing stock. This is the eighth transaction. Closing stock is to be recorded. Then next, ninth transaction is commission. Commission to consignee. Commission to consignee. Commission to consignee is to be recorded. Commission to consignee is to be recorded in the books. Commission to consignee. These are the transactions relating to consignment. Okay, common transactions. First transaction, he sent the goods. Second transaction, he consignor incur the expense. Third transaction, consignee incur the expense. Then fourth, consignee gives advance to consignor. Then consignee sell the goods, and there may be loss occur. The loss may occur. Then next, consignee may return the goods. Then closing stock remains with consignee. Then for sale, consignee take the commission. Consignee take the commission. These are the common transactions comes in the consignment account. Okay. Another one account comes, another one transaction for abnormal loss. They receive the compensation. they receive the compensation or claim from the insurance company. That is one more transaction comes. Okay, these are the 10 transactions relating to consignment account. These 10 transactions comes in the consignment account. This chapter is same as branch account. It is same as